You found the WMIX Saturday Sports Show on AM 940 and WMIXSports.com. Cared for by Crossroads Community Hospital. The Saturday Sports Show has been recognized by the Illinois Broadcasters Association as one of the top radio programs in the state. That means the very best mix of local sports content is right here. From the powerhouse on Broadway, the Saturday Sports Show starts now.
Good morning. Beautiful Saturday morning in the King City for the Saturday Sports Show here on WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Of course, so glad to have you with us. Busy lineup for you on this summer Saturday morning. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Mike Richardson in studio. And, of course, we appear courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Hey, that's what healthcare should be.
There we go. It's been a while since I've been in here trying to get everything reacclimated. But busy lineup today. Of course, we'll talk about some fundraisers going on, some local events. Of course, Diamonds for Dollars softball tournament with 32 local softball teams going on in Pinckneyville. We'll discuss that. Also, last Friday in July, you can mark it on your calendar. It's an annual event. The Egyptian Officials Association, the Southern Illinois Coaches Association, they team up for a golf scramble. Of course, in Jackson County, Mike Austin, a longtime veteran IHSA state finals quality official. We'll talk about that with him. We'll talk with sports editor of the Southern, Les Winkeler. Of course, we'll talk about some things going on in Saluki land. We'll also talk about some high school sports, maybe even dip into Les's true strength, which is the outdoors. Probably one of the premier outdoors writers you'll find not only in this area, of course, probably the best in the area, with all due respect to everybody who writes about outdoors, but probably one of the top outdoor writers in the nation. And then we'll talk about Rams football camp coming up this coming week with Mount Vernon Rams head football coach Jared Shaner. And, of course, we'll have our WMIX Sports social media question of the week. You can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We're on the Twitterverse as well. You can follow us there at WMIX Sports. But, gentlemen, of course, it was another great holiday in the books. And, of course, hopefully everybody on July 4th, America's Independence, took the time to remember the true reason of the holiday and why we were here. But it was a beautiful day for much of the area. Of course, fireworks went on. But most importantly, and, of course, something I know we will probably we'll have to talk about at some point today, and that, of course, is competitive eating. And I believe Mr. Chestnut won again in the hot dog eating contest.
Oh, absolutely. He's got a nice streak and a nice run going, as we've had a nice little chat off air here in the studio about things like that. And he's put on a show, and it's amazing the attention that this draws. Be pretty cool to see all them people live, and all the things that they have associated with that Nathan's Eating Contest, now the Hot Dog Challenge. And that's not the only thing for people who don't know a little bit about competitive eating. There's a few on a long list of items that's edible, I guess.
Well, the first thing we've been talking off the air, as you mentioned, Mike, and we've been talking about the website, the competitive eating website, the official one where Joey Chestnut's associated with, that group. And so far, the one that stands out to us as being, crazy is the mayonnaise record. This is 4 32-ounce bowls of mayonnaise in 8 minutes. I can't even fathom what that must be like.
That's very sick.
Yeah, the two that we talked about was the mayonnaise and then also
find the butter.
Sticks of butter. Just absolutely eating sticks of butter. And it's amazing. You can find anything and everything that they'll make a challenge out of this.
7 quarter-pound sticks of salted butter. 5 minutes.
And that's nothing against the dairy industry whatsoever, but I just cannot fathom eating that much butter in my lifetime, let alone in one city.
Mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise, I got to watch out there because obviously the first thing that comes to mind are a bunch of onomatopoeias, interjections, and, of course, maybe some expletives because that is just insane to think about that much mayonnaise being consumed at one time. Miracle Whip, I told the senior advisor, seasoned ball coach this. Miracle Whip I could probably do. The tanky sip. Mayo, there is absolutely no way whatsoever.
Well, the 22-ounce Slurpee record in 9 seconds. One of those, 22 ounces in 9 seconds. We'll get more on this later, but those are the three that stood out to me, drinking a Slurpee of 22 ounces in 9 seconds.
I guess my thought on that 9 seconds, the next minute and a half of the brain freeze, was it worth it? I'm not sure.
Depends on the money.
There's almost as many competitive eating records as changed minds of Dwight Howard.
That's what I guess. Dwight Howard may be into some of these eating contests too with brain freezes.
Yeah, he's got a brain freeze. All right.
Got to have the required equipment first, gentlemen. Anyhow,
well, depending on who you talk to, his required equipment's there.
Wow.
Guts are not included.
Definitely options.
Options, brains. He's got money. He took less.
My wife's worried now that I'm going to come through on my statement that I made. Am I going to drive him to the airport? But last night I got a reprieve because he wasn't going to go to Houston. But I'm going to change my mind again. But hey, the sun came up today, so there's a new day. And there's a new day on the horizon.
And Kobe and Pau Gasol, we're done following you. The old 5 years ago, what would we do without Twitter? Because that's the ultimate of backhand slaps to the face when somebody unfollows you. Because Kobe and Gasol do that to Dwight and vice versa. I'm like, okay, what are we in the playground here? Your guys mad at each other. Lakers now would be awful. Trade Gasol, get picks. Everybody, and what cracks me up is everybody's depending on ping pong balls for 2014 for Parker, Wiggins, Randall, Harrison twins, most people Kentucky. Ask the Celtics in '97 what happened to those ping pong balls.
Yeah, I can't even believe that you're talking about the four major sports that they're talking about that so far in advance with so much luck involved, and plus basically trying to tank a full season. Now you can be bad, and trust me, the Celtics and the Lakers both have good possibilities of being bad depending if they keep Rondo out a while, the Celtics, if the Lakers keep Kobe out for a while. I can totally see that. Capped room for the Lakers is a big issue. They may even pull the old amnesty rule out and try to cut a veteran right now. Who knows if that's going to happen with Meta World Peace. But when you're relying on ping pong balls and that draft, this is not a rigged league. You're grasping for so many straws, it's not even funny.
July 1st, David Stern goes out, and he was the one that threw a fit about all the people finagling to get that. That's why we have the draft lottery, because it used to be just on records when people are throwing off. Now we have the draft lottery. You get more ping pong balls than others. And then you throw that in 2014. Dwight Howard took a $30 million pay cut. That could help him in another courtroom as well. That's another topic for another day.
Wow.
I'm just saying.
Keep going there.
Stuff, I'm not keeping going.
The first one was funnier, though.
Well, I thought it was. There's a lot. There's five of them that will attest to that. You have that going on. The Pirates are the Pirates. I got it's 1979 all over again. They're trying to get their fans back in the ballpark. Football's getting ready to start. Once the Lake Tahoe Celebrity Golf Scramble happens, it's training camp time. Another thing was the Rams did not renew. We've talked about this since I've been here, that the St. Louis Rams did not talk or renew stuff, and after 2014 they're free to flock to L.A. because that's where they're going to end up.
St. Louis Jaguars.
It's going to be the Los Angeles Rams. It's going to be the St. Louis Jaguars. Here it comes. It's going to happen.
And that's originally who they were supposed to have to begin with. If you really backtrack everything back. And the most ironic thing of that, then they have the owner that they should have had at that time too.
Yes.
So it sort of does come full circle if you really start paying attention to what we were talking about, 3-4 years ago.
Well, and they didn't renew. There's no negotiations going on. It's done. Deadline's passed, no talk. The Rams are going to be probably in St. Louis. I'll be shocked if they're there in 2015. If they're not in L.A. in 2015 playing at Coliseum for a year or playing somewhere, I will be shocked after this last move.
And another thing that's so ironic about that is, they suffered through the times now of this last regime, going through all the coaching staff and now trying to get people in place, the right people in place. Now the draft comes along. You get the quarterback for the future. Now you're starting to get some key components. You're starting to sign these guys that are now good players for long term. Now you're building this team, and it could be gone. You suffer through all that, and then now you turn the tables, and you start winning some football games, and the likelihood of them being gone is pretty serious.
Final point: who's their coach?
Yeah,
Jeff Fisher, SoCal guy, went to SoCal, heading back, and then you turn from the high school or pro football, high school football camp coming up this week. I think Mount Vernon. It's that time. It's kind of a slow time. We've passed July 4th now. Now the roller coaster's spinning down. Here it comes. It'll be football season before you know it, even though it starts a week later.
Well, and that's the other thing is I've had so many people ask, why is it starting on August 30th? And there just seems to be the thought process of setting your calendar to, maybe the 23rd, 24th, all the way up to about the 27th or the 28th, or about through the 27th. But I think the thing people forget is that the state finals are Thanksgiving weekend, and you have to go 14 weeks because that's how many games end up. If you play every game of the season, you play 14 games. I think people maybe don't quite understand. You have to go 14 weeks up from Thanksgiving.
And you have to worry about it's the year after leap year. All the calendar re-racks, as they say. So it works out. Diamonds for Dollars, we talked about earlier. They are up and at 'em in Pinckneyville already. They've sent us a picture. We already retweeted and favorited that at WMIX Sports. They're already going.
We've had so many early topics before we get to our first guest, Andrea Keane, of course, of that particular topic.
We went all over. It's been a Keane.
Is our social media question coming out of that?
Yes.
Is it up?
It's up. I was going to run it by editorially speaking, our crack staff in the back room about editorially speaking. But our question this week is, if you were a competitive eater like Joey Chestnut, what food would you eat to try to break a record? We have that up at facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Put your answer there. Like us. Tell your friends. What food would you try to eat? Would you eat to try to break a record?
There we go. Something to think about. You can find it on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports, or tweet your answers on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. We'll, of course, revisit that discussion, I am sure, at some point, probably in the 9 o'clock hour, maybe a full, comprehensive analysis of the competitive eating landscape. Who knows? It's all to come here on the Saturday Sports Show. When we come back, we'll catch up with Andrea Keane. Of course, she is responsible for Diamonds for Dollars softball tournament in Pinckneyville today. It raises money. It's a good cause. We'll talk about that next on the Saturday Sports Show, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Well, I think they were talking the other day about
time for
Chestnut's
fireworks,
actual
and
salary
Ford is
in
setting
this.
off explosive savings. Hi, Roy Schmidt Ford dealer, Ford Square, Mount Vernon.
About 200.
Ford has just kicked off their red, white, and used sales celebration, sure to save you a lot of green. The 2013 Ford Fiesta and the Ford Focus are a dynamic duo of high miles per gallon. Right now, you'll find a Ford Fiesta four-door with an automatic transmission ready to get you 39 miles per gallon highway. You'll also find a Fiesta SE with $1,250 in rebates. Or, how about 38 miles per gallon in a four-door 2013 Ford Focus S? Right now, save big with $1,500 in rebates. We are rolling at Ford Square with the red, white, and used sales event at 1501 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, where the best never rest. And shop us online at fordsquare.com.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank, asking why you bank with Community First Bank. Is it knowing your deposits are also vital to home loans in Jefferson County and our local economy? Is it having your choice of convenient locations and ATMs? Is it seeing a staff of friendly faces you recognize as your neighbors? These are all reasons enough to count, though you only need one, and we are honored you chose us. Community First Bank, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show on WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo, Danny Zerwinski, Mike Richardson, all in studio for you today, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Proud to welcome our next guest to the program. Of course, we are talking the Diamonds for Dollars softball tournament today in Pinckneyville. Her name is Andrea Keane. Andrea, good morning.
Good morning.
A beautiful day for softball. Of course, a chance of rain up in our area, but it should be a beautiful day for softball and, of course, a fundraiser. Tell us a little bit about this fundraiser. Of course, it raises money for scholarships. Is that right?
Yes. Actually, the tournament out here is the third year running, and it was first originally by a guy named Jeff Harris from Tamaro that was with the Dirt Diamonds organization, and he came to the board saying that he'd like to start running a tournament, and some of the proceeds would go to the Diamonds for Dollars for the PCHS Education Foundation scholarship stuff. And so we said, okay, and we helped him, and here we are. He stepped down, and our board decided to take it over because I felt like it was Jeff had done a really good job getting it started, and it was off and running, and here we are now in our third year, and it's going to be hopefully a nice day. Probably mostly cloudy right now, but the sun should shine.
Big fundraisers you mentioned, and one of the things is you don't have just certain teams, high school, everything. You've got, from what I was told, 32 teams of softball. Tell our listeners what type of age groups and teams are in Pinckneyville this weekend.
Age groups do range from 10U softball girls age group to 12U age group, 14U, and then we did a combination of 16 and 18U girls, and they come from everywhere, north, south, east, and west, as far as St. Louis area. There might be some girls that come farther than that to play with their team, and then down around Cape Girardeau, Perryville, Missouri, Dongola, Illinois, in that area. So, and actually we do have 33 teams in this year. This is the most that we've had. So I'm very thankful for that, and thankful for the weather and the help that we have. It's going to be good.
Softball Pinckneyville has been so very good for many decades, and now Pinckneyville hosting this tournament of big teams. Did you ever think at this point when this thing started that it would grow into a 33-team event as it has this weekend?
No. I know from playing ball in the past and stuff, and when Jeff came and said that he was wanting to do this, I know it takes a lot of hard work and preparation in order to do that, and I was kind of concerned, that we would have enough teams and enough help to build it, and so no, to be this big and have this many in is great. It's really doing good for our community, for all the other teams playing and the help and stuff, so I'm really grateful that it's grown that big.
Now, I know you mentioned the scholarship situation, but it's not a selfish thing where all the money and the scholarships, but this is kind of thing when you're bringing in this many teams, this many players, this many parents, fans, etc. This is kind of helping out the economy, not only in Pinckneyville, but the surrounding area as well, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, because we brought in some teams that do need to have a hotel stay, eat, and giving out some of those things, so helping to generate that and help the community, because everybody needs all the help they can right now with our economy the way it is, and it's just it's good. Tournaments, softball tournaments, baseball tournaments, I think, in my opinion, are a pretty good fundraiser. Everybody likes to be outside. It's a very good pastime. So, I think it's a really good thing for everyone involved.
I think you guys have hit on a great thing, because I think a lot of people, the saturation of golf scrambles for everything, and we're going to have a golf scramble coming up we're going to talk about here on the show later on, but you guys have this softball tournament. How many scholarships are given out at Pinckneyville High School off of this tournament?
Actually, that's hard to say, actually coming from the tournament, because this benefit is to help keep adding to that scholarship fund. So this past May was our second year in giving away $30,000 in scholarships to PCHS students. Last year marked our first year, so this is our second, and so to keep building that so we can continue giving that much amount to kids in need to go to school.
When you look at the number of scholarships, are there requirements what requirements are needed to meet in order to qualify and possibly get one of these scholarships?
There's a very lengthy scholarship application that we hand out to our seniors, and it's basically they're filling that out with everything involved from community service to their grades to actually the biggest thing is the need. What type of financial need do you need to go on to the school of your choice and wanting to go, and what career fields you're wanting to go into. And overall thing, too, with the scholarship is kind of wanting to bring it back to the kids that you're getting this scholarship money in hopes, and we want you to do well in your career and stuff, and good for yourself, but we also want you to bring back and give back to your community as well, too. So it's kind of like a circle thing, giving you, but also giving back to your community. Hey, you gave me this, we're giving you this opportunity. Give us a little bit back too, and promoting that. And so hopefully it all comes full circle.
Where in Pinckneyville, and what is the schedule of games for the day and tomorrow, in case people want to come out and watch and donate and help out?
Today, they started at 8 o'clock this morning. They're already on their way, and so we have a game about every 80 minutes. There's a new game on field, and it's out at the Pinckneyville Fairgrounds. Ballpark Road is the actual address that they put that in their GPS. And then we also have, I want to put a shout-out to District 204 School. our feeder school east of town of Petersville. They're allowing us to use their salt diamond, and that allows us to put about another 10 games out that way, and help to get more teams in here too. So those games are going on as well up until 7 o'clock tonight out there at 204 Field.
It's nice to keep those people live out there by 204 busy, so you keep them out of trouble. You know who we're talking about, or I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Hey, final question. We always ask our guests this, and it's our WMI. I'm sure you probably heard about it from your buddies that we mutually know. Our WMI Sports social media question of the week. And this past week, Joey Chestnut ate 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes to set a record. If you were a competitive eater, what food would you eat to try to break a record?
Ooh, hot dogs.
Hot dogs. You would go after him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Very nice choice.
No.
Good choice indeed. And, of course, good luck with your softball tournament today, and hopefully that'll be very, very beneficial, of course, for your scholarship fund. Thank you for taking the time to join us today here on the Saturday Sports Show.
All right. Thank you for having us, guys.
Thank you. That was Andrea Keane, of course. Diamonds for Dollars in Pinckneyville softball tournament going on this weekend. They already got started today at 8 o'clock. Of course, games going on at the Pinckneyville Fairgrounds. Very easy to find there, I believe, off of 154.
Yeah.
Through town. Ballpark Road. And I love that if you want to program it into your GPS, of course, as she took care of you. That was Andrea Keane, of course. Also, the benevolence of District 204 and allowing them to use their field is nice as well. So, a great tournament. And you heard $30,000 in scholarship money. How incredible is that?
It's a great idea. And I'm not knocking golf scrambles because I play all the time in them, but when you can come up with a different idea, because I remember when golf scrambles really became a buzz in the early mid-'90s, everybody started a golf scramble.
Everybody and their brother.
Well, I mean, everybody had one. Everybody's got a golf course. And even though a couple of them have shut down here in the area. But, you know, it's one of those things where if you can come up with something just a little different where a lot of people can show up. I mean, Pinckneyville's had a lot of softball tradition over the years. You hit this tournament. They also have a scramble with this later on at my home course at Red Hawk. But it goes along together. This is a big money fundraiser that they can have. It's a great idea. It's one of those that you got to think a little bit out of the box.
And to get that kind of fundraiser penetration and to break through the clutter, you do have to do that. You need something different. That is just a wonderful idea. Diamonds for Dollars going on this weekend in Perry County at the fairgrounds, as well as District 204. So there you go. That's a little bit of talk there. Another fundraiser coming up, of course, will be the last Friday in July. I believe it to be the 26th. The Egyptian Officials Association and the Southern Illinois Coaches Association, they team up for the golf scramble there in Jackson County. We'll talk with Mike Austin, IHSA State Finals basketball official, of course, one of the lead dogs in the pack of the Egyptian Officials Association. So we'll talk with him after the break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
New to you vehicle, there's a reason why Second Chance Auto has been helping put families into affordable, dependable vehicles for over 32 years. Honest, fair deals. Ain't nothing fancy, just great vehicles with warranties. Honest deals and bank rate financing for all. That's the only way Second Chance Auto will do business. And you don't even have to leave your home to get credit approval. Call Second Chance Auto at 244-4582 and get pre-approved right over the phone. They know bad things can happen to good people. Second Chance Auto, Route 142 East in Mount Vernon.
Your spine is a miracle of engineering, so when pain strikes, your body is telling you to get help fast. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois is proud to feature their spine care team. And when there are back problems, pain is always a constant companion. The Orthopedic Center also specializes in pain management, so put our spine care team on the job. Find out more online at orthocenter-si.com. Stop the pain, fix the problem, and enjoy life again. The Orthopedic Center of Southern Illinois.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next rad weather. Humid today with clouds and some sun, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high of 83. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 62. Then tomorrow, partly sunny and humid, high 86. Monday will be partly sunny, hot and humid with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly in the afternoon. High getting up to 92. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And we're welcoming you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
So glad to have you with us on a beautiful Saturday morning. Of course, the first Saturday in July. And, of course, Coming up the last Friday in July, it's the Egyptian Officials Association, Southern Illinois Coaches Association Golf Scramble. Of course, that is coming up, I believe that is July 26th. Here to talk about it now, of course, a legendary IHSA basketball official, of course, Mike Austin. Mike, good morning.
Hey, good morning. I don't know about the legendary, but it is a good morning.
That it definitely is. And, of course, I hate to call it infamous, but I've always heard so much about it, of course, from Danny Zerwinski, who plays in it every year. One of the better golf scrambles, and I always just said that everybody and their brother has a golf scramble, but one of the best in the area, and one of the most benevolent in the area is this golf scramble coming up on July 26th. How many years is it now for the EOA SICA golf scramble?
This will actually be our 12th year, and first 2 years we were at Kokopelli Golf Course, and then this is our 10th year at Hickory Ridge. In the previous 11 years, Chris, we have raised a little over $210,000, and every single penny of it has went back to the students of Southern Illinois in the form of college scholarships.
When you talk about this scramble, one of the things you mentioned, that money raised, it started out kind of a new thing over at Kokopelli, moved to Hickory Ridge, and the growth has been exponentially phenomenal as far as the number of teams, number of people involved. This went to 2 sessions. They're both fully booked. Talk about the growth over the years as far as teams getting involved in the competition as well.
Danny, when we started at Hickory Ridge, at Kokopelli, I'm sorry, in our very first year, we started with 17 teams, 11 of them which was eligible schools. Since that time, we have grown every single year. This will be our 11th consecutive year of growth. And we had last year we had 54 teams and 32 eligible schools. So the participation and the support that we get from all of Southern Illinois is really pretty phenomenal.
In this scramble, of course, I call this scramble kind of the official, unofficial kickoff for the upcoming academic athletic school year, because it's that last big thing, and the last Friday in July, August kicks around and goes. It's kind of a way for everybody, coaches and athletic directors and referees, to get together and kick off the upcoming season, isn't it?
Well, thanks for recognizing that, because that's one of the things that we decided when we decided on the time was something that we really felt like that was needed to be at that time, because we wanted to get reacquainted again with some of the people that maybe we hadn't seen in a while. We wanted the coaches and the referees to kind of be in a area that wasn't on the field or on the court or on the diamond, and just be able to see each other in a different light, and possibly start the year off a little bit better than the old myth of referees and coaches not getting along together.
And everybody, and me, I've been down there every year. This year's in jeopardy, though, the streak. I'm a free agent this year, but it seems like every year it's an availability before, during, and after. There are people talking and introducing themselves that don't normally get to chit-chat and talk with each other unless they see each other, whether it's at a field or a game or on the court or otherwise.
Well, and that's an important thing. As you notice, whenever we have our title, it's the EOA SICA Scholarship Outing. And that's exactly what we wanted it to be. We wanted it to be a time where we could visit, say hello, as I said, see each other in a different light. And we never wanted it to be a tournament format, because we never wanted it really to be that competitive. But I will say that we do have a traveling trophy, and that traveling trophy goes to the school who has the lowest score. But we always downplay that a little bit. We always kind of keep that for I guess, just pride for the schools. But really, the outing is what we're after.
Yeah, but you throw that trophy out there. There's 2 other things involved in this tournament that always, I think, makes it stand out. Obviously, one's a traveling trophy because all these schools are playing. It's a very competitive deal. Number 2 is the putting contest, because everybody tries to go to the putting green before it starts to figure out where that putting contest is going to be. And I think the third one is, when you go to most scrambles, they plop the pins in the middle of every green. Everybody shoots whatever low scores. this is a tournament where you get together with the director there at Hickory Ridge, and you guys put these pins in spots that you're going to earn your 10, 12, 14, 15, sometimes 20 under at this tournament. I think that's the three things that make this tournament stand out from a lot of the others around in Southern Illinois.
Well, the putting contest actually, Danny, came about because we were getting so big that we had to find some way to take some relief off the golf course. Instead of turning 18 holes. And I think the first year that we actually had the putting contest, we had 33 teams, if I'm not mistaken, and we was only in one flight. And we was trying to find a way to relieve some of the pressure off of the golf course to where you wouldn't have to sit and wait for so long. So we came up with the idea of this putting contest where we pick a spot on the green, and we go from that spot, we go to the furthest part of the putting green and draw a line, and then all four members of your team actually putt, and the total team distance from that hole, then the shortest total actually wins the prize. So that's how that actually came about, and it's really been pretty fun for us. And not only that, but a lot of people really kind of like it, and I've heard other people as well say that they've used that idea, and I'm sure we got it from somewhere, so I can't take claim to that.
The thing I think, too, is when you walk into tournaments, when you pay your fee, you're looking to get something back. So you make think, okay, we're getting something back. You get a free door prize when you walk in. But the other thing that I've had enjoyed and had some success with is a lot of the silent auction prizes and stuff like that to go on. I won a trip to KMOX. I went crazy and outbid somebody for a Troy Aikman autograph last year. Won't mention that, but a lot of good prizes. Dude, yeah, I know. I had to. That was one of those I had to get. What are some of the prizes this year that are going to be available for silent auction and otherwise at the Golf Scramble?
Well, Lynn Navarro does a phenomenal job in coming up with all of our silent auction stuff. I've only talked to him a couple times regarding that because I just kind of let everybody on our committees do their own thing, and we kind of get together once or twice and just kind of see where we're at, see where people are at. Everybody, the thing that we've always tried to do, guys, is when we're asking somebody to give us money, we want to make sure that whatever amount of money that we give, that they are giving us and we're asking for, we want to make sure that they get it back. So what we've always done in the past is when we first started out, we started out with a $75 fee, and then we asked them to play the skin game, and we asked them to play the mulligan game, and we asked them to buy 50-50 tickets. Well, it became such a logjam at the door, trying to get everybody registered. Ray Bates actually came up with the idea that why don't we just include that in the fee, and we charge everybody $100, and then that way that also puts them into the 50-50 drawing. It puts them into the skin game and gives them mulligans. That way it frees up that whole thing and allows us more room to give door prizes, because we take pride in making sure that every single golfer has a door prize. And so, yeah, it's really been a work in action, and we try to improve things every single year and try to make the experience of the EOA SICA golf outing really something that people will enjoy and will come back and see us this year.
And the teams that come back and play, they get money for scholarships. 17th Street Barbecue has been helpful. Obviously, the food in the middle for everybody to eat between sessions. But talk about, in case if somebody wants to either donate a prize or teams or want to get in or anything at this late stage, who can they contact or get a hold of in case they want to donate or help out or at least get a team in?
Well, they can call me or any of the committee members. And Danny, before we leave, I'll send you a flyer, and that way, if anybody that's listening has any interest in playing, they can contact the radio station. Is that correct?
That'd be fine. Yeah, you can send it here to WMIX in Mount Vernon. We'll get it out there.
Okay, and then that way, anyone that has any interest in participating can just download the flyer please get a hold of us. You mentioned something that's very important to us, and that is our sponsors. And we have corporate sponsor in McDonald's of Southern Illinois, and they really go above and beyond in sponsoring us and helping us support it. And Mike Mills at 17th Street Bar and Grill, you know, from the very first day, he has fed all the golfers at Southern Illinois in our outing and not charged us a penny. You know, and I don't know, the value of that is amazing. We have Luis P&R in Heron who gives us hot dogs, and we put them on the grill for before lunch, and then after lunch we have Marion Pepsi and Coca-Cola that donate drinks to us. We have Kerner Distributor, who is the company that I work for, and they provide us with beverages as well. And we really, and here's the whole guts of the day, guys. We really have a lot of folks that support us because it goes to the students.
Mm-hmm.
And the students is what it's all about. When you take a community and these kids give their time and their effort and their sweat and their talent, and they create memories for all of the people in that community to talk about for years and years and years to come, we want to find a way, and we tried to find a way, to give them something back in thanks for all their time and all their work that they have done to create the memories. You know, I'll never forget in 2011 when the Murfreesboro team, and I'm from Murfreesboro in case anybody's listening here, when the 2011 basketball team went to Peoria and they played in the state championship game, the thing that I kept hearing over and over and over and over and over again was just how good the Murfreesboro team of 72-73 was. Well, 40 years later, those kids that played in the 72-73 were still putting smiles on faces of the people in the community. So in 2015 or 2050, this group from 2011 is going to be doing the same thing. So when you impact the community and these student athletes do that, why not thank them? Why not give them something back for all the good that they do for the community? And that's what we try to do.
And that's what you do. And, of course, you present these scholarship checks during the winter. People say, well, I don't go to Scramble, I don't go. When do you present them? You present them. The officials will go out, and before basketball games around Southern Illinois, and before the varsity starts, you'll present a check, and there'll be an explanation over the PA. I think that's how it all comes full circle every year. Of course, the tournament last Friday in July 26th this year. Mike, as you know, our final question to you is our social media question of the week. And this week's question is, Joey Chestnut ate 69 hot dogs in 10 minutes on Thursday, July 4th. If you were a competitive eater, what food would you eat to try to break a record?
Oh, my goodness, I don't know. Pizza, I guess. That's the one thing I think I could probably eat the most. But that's pretty weak. That's a pretty weak answer. I apologize.
Oh no, that's fine because we'll have all kinds of answers. Nobody's got a right or a wrong answer in this one.
No, that's the best I can do on that. Hey, just real quick, let me mention this before we finish our talk here. Over 285 scholarships have been awarded. They varied from $500 to $800. We're going to give away another 30-something scholarships this year, and over $210,000. Hopefully, this year we are going to hit the $250,000 giving back to the students of Southern Illinois for all that they've done. So I can't thank you enough for allowing me the time this morning to get this out here, because it's something that is very helpful to the students. You know, I'm the one that benefits, quite frankly, because I'm the one that walks out to the mailbox every single day, and after this thing is over with, and I'm the one that picks up the letter that's been mailed, and it says thank you for the scholarship. It's going to help me go to college, and it's the only way I can pay for my books, or it's this. That's what it's all about. It's about being able to give something back to these students and help them get a college education to be successful. And it's just a way of thanking them, and I'm very fortunate to be part of it.
Mike, we thank you, and of course, $250,000 is a ton of money. We'll be here for you next year when it's time to talk again, and of course, we can't wait to talk as we approach the $1 million mark, which will hopefully be in the not too distant future. Mike Austin, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. It's always a pleasure to have you, and we wish, of course, the best of luck with the Golf Scramble on July 26th.
Chris Hugo, I'm still waiting on a day for you to come down and sit and eat lunch with me during that day.
I'll tell you what, if DC ends up as a free agent and just ends up roaming around down there this year, I have a feeling it'll be very likely that I will end up down there right alongside. So hoping to make it down this year.
My friend, I'm looking forward to it.
Can't wait. Mike, hopefully we'll see you on the 26th.
See you guys.
As Mike Austin, of course, a very gracious and benevolent individual, and he obviously will not brag upon himself. He puts a lot of work into this. And, of course, Lynn Navarre, of course, is the AD at Murfreesboro High School. Murfreesboro, obviously, you just heard, puts a lot of time into getting some of the donations, but a very well-run golf scramble. It's been around for 12 years. It goes to benefit a lot of great kids in Southern Illinois, but you heard it trying to hit the $250,000 mark this year, sitting at about $210 right now.
Yeah, that's a good run, and it's kind of the golf scramble that, certain golf scrambles come and go, certain golf scrambles have a splash and then you don't hear it, and then one of those things that we see is the fact that this scramble's going to be around because it's money going to the kids. There's nobody pocketing it. There's nobody keeping them out. You don't know about all this goes to kids in the area and every school that sends a team. If you're a school that doesn't send a team, that's your fault. If you send a team, you get scholarship money. That's the best thing about it.
It's a great tournament. And I call it a tournament. It's a great scramble. It's a great fundraiser, and it's an amazing benevolent program that allows kids to go to college. And, of course, sometimes it's the only way kids can get their collegiate education. We need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports Show. It's going to be Les Winkeler, sports editor at the Southern, when we come back here, of course, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. It's been said that in order to grow, you have to change. Very rarely anymore do insurance companies ask the phrase to go out and get 3 estimates. The new phrase insurance companies are asking is, would you like to take your vehicle to one of our direct repair facilities? This is a way for your insurance company and collision repair center to help relieve the stress you may have from your unfortunate incident. And, as Landers Collision Centers has adapted to this forever-changing industry, we are extremely happy to announce that we are a direct repair facility for over 10 different insurance companies. It's likely that one of them is yours. From dealing with your insurance company, setting you up with a rental vehicle, lifetime warranty on repairs, and of course, Landers Free lifetime detailing for qualified customers, Landers Collision Centers literally takes the stress from your incident and turns it back into a shiny new ride for you to enjoy again. Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
State Farm, this is Jessica.
Hey, Jessica, Jerry Newman. Does State Farm offer more discounts to more drivers?
Yep, like the good driver discount.
So it's for good, but not great drivers.
No, Jerry. There's also the multi-line discount.
For calling from multiple lines while driving.
You should never use a phone while driving.
I only make calls from my car when I'm stuck in a ditch or something.
Are you in a ditch?
Yes, I am.
State Farm offers more discounts to more drivers than any other insurance company. Get to a better state.
One more reason to call State Farm agent Tony Wilton Mount Vernon at 242-1421.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Chris Hugo with Danny Zerwinski and Mike Richardson in studio for you today, courtesy of Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
You bet it is. And, of course, very proud to welcome to the program now. He is the sports editor at the Southern Illinois newspaper, Les Winkler. Les, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Yeah, well, we joke that it's kind of a dead period for us here, of course, at WMIX. But for a guy like you write about the outdoors. You also cover some beats and also, write columns. It seems like almost every day. So it always remains a busy time for you. And there's a lot going on in Saluki land right now, of course, with the basketball program and Abe Martin Field, of course. And, of course, they're going to have, I guess, the new complex. Itchy Jones is going to have some nomenclature in that as well. But a busy time right now in Carbondale.
Yeah, it really is. It never really stops at SIU. The summer programs, the basketball coaches are allowed to have contact with the people. And, of course, football's gearing up. Camp's going to be opening up here in just a couple of weeks. And, they've already got a whole lot of Abe Martin Field looks a lot different already. The only thing left standing right now are the clubhouse and the outfield fence and the backstop. So they're already on the move at Abe Martin.
Speaking of Abe Martin, they're going to renovate this Ray Martin. It's been needed to be done for a long time. First part of the two-part question, what are they going to do to change Abe Martin, renovate it? And number two, what are they looking to attract with the renovations? It's solely just for the baseball program only, or are they looking to attract maybe a Missouri Valley Conference tournament or other things as well?
Well, I think that's certainly part of the question. I mean, there's no doubt that they weren't going to get a tournament. They weren't going to get the tournament as long as Abe Martin Field remained as it was. Just look at the name Abe Martin Field. College baseball isn't played on fields anymore. It's played in stadiums. Evansville's got a really nice place. Illinois State just redid theirs. I think that's part of the big picture, and it really needed to be done. I mean, the restroom facilities there were just absolutely horrible. The concession stand was just one of those little wagons that you see at the fair that they pull up and open the windows every day. So they're gonna redo the field. I actually hate to see the grass field though. I'm a traditionalist when it comes to baseball, and I would love. It was such a nice field, but they're gonna put an all turf field so they don't have to worry about rainouts anymore. Plus, they're going to have lights, so there won't be any more baseball ties. Abe Martin Field was one of the few places in the country where you could still play a baseball game to a tie.
And you look at SIU in general, all the facility changes. Charlotte West Stadium for softball. You start looking at football stadiums being redone. The baseball stadium's getting redone. The big project at the SIU Arena. There's new track and golf facilities out there behind Abe Martin and different things. Where does SIU go from here sports-wise? Because it seems like they've done or are doing or getting close to completing all the sports facilities. Where do they go from here, if at all?
I don't know, because they renovated Davies Gym, too, so the volleyball team has at least a nicer-looking facility on the inside. Davies is still an older building. It's not ugly or fallen down or anything, but I actually haven't seen the new floor or anything yet, but... I don't think there's a whole lot left to do now other than maintenance and, look to the future.
Speaking of looking to the future changed last year. Chris Lowry exited, brought in Barry Henson. Last year was a year where emphasis was placed on how you're acting, academics, things of that nature. This year two, it's a different change, different look for SIU men's basketball. A lot of local flavor, the Verhines and Smith Peters and otherwise. It seems to be that Barry Henson in year two may be talking more about winning than he did last year in year one.
I'm just getting ready to sit down and write a column saying that Barry Henson is actually talking about basketball this year. Last year at this time, he was talking about survival, and especially when the cameras would go off and the microphones would get turned off, he had some serious concerns about whether the basketball program would even be viable, whether or not academic sanctions would be coming down. There were legal issues with a couple players being charged with misdemeanors, and this year he's actually talking about basketball, which is a good sign right from the start. And he laid a pretty solid foundation last year. There's some good people back. Desmar Jackson showed that he can be one of the best offensive players in the Valley last year. And at times last year, when he was motivated, he played outstanding defense. He got a lot of points off breakaways that he created himself. And Jalen Pendleton showed that he's got a lot of upside, as does Anthony Bean Jr. There's still some concerns for me. They're still going to be weak in the post, I think. Devontae Drinkard is still battling foot injuries and back injuries. And Boa Olanian is the kid is a marvelous athlete. He works his tail off, but he is just really raw in terms of basketball skills.
And then, when Coach Lowry was there, the arena was redone. Everybody was excited to go for the arena. Of course, as I said, you can rebuild and build new, but it's always a product on the floor. It seems like with Barry Henson, he understands yet the product may not be the winning that the Saluki fans have been used to under Weber and otherwise, but he's starting to figure out maybe if I bring in a few local guys, we can get some ticket sales up and get the excitement back in.
Yeah, I agree with that to a certain extent, but your first statement, I think, is more accurate. If you want to fill the place, win. It doesn't matter if your players are from Mars or Mercury or whatever. If you get a winning product, people are going to fill the place. Getting some local kids for this transition period is probably not a bad idea, but ultimately that's not the answer. Winning is going to be the answer, and I think Barry took another step last year too. The team played hard. They played smarter, and I think Saluki fans appreciated that. But you're only going to get by with that for a year or two,
right?
Pretty soon people are going to want to see W's. There are no moral victories at that level of college basketball, so the handwriting's on the wall. You got to win.
You mentioned what he was talking about when the cameras and the microphones went off. Do people really understand just how dire that program was, state of it was left in at a certain point as far as how bad it was? Do people really understand how low and how close it was to maybe looking around going, well, are we really going to stay Division I?
I think some people do. I don't think the vast majority of people have any idea just what awful shape. I mean, the things he had to deal with. Barry does a great job. He is a great PR person. He's great in front of the cameras, but he's also a pretty honest person. When the cameras are off and he's got a few moments to talk to you, he'll tell you exactly what they're dealing with. And, frankly, I'm about as optimistic person as you can get. And, frankly, some of the stuff he told me last year, I was concerned that I really did not think that they would turn the academic thing around like they did. That's a credit to him, his staff, his players, and the whole academic staff at SIU. They just done a phenomenal job.
Speaking of phenomenal job, as we mentioned, athletic facilities are changing. Mario Mocha, the AD down there. Do you get the feeling, is he going to be an SIU lifer, or has he done what he can do, maybe possibly looking at that next step as far as his career is concerned?
That's a really good question. I thought about that a lot, and I've never actually just flat put it to Mario. But, he's taken a lot of flack over the years for hiring, and some people are down on Dale Lennon. And, the baseball program hasn't won in a long time. But I think when you look at the history of SIU sports, and basketball and football are going to be in their 100th season this year, I believe, and you look at the things that he's accomplished, he did preside over the final golden years of SIU athletics, where the football team was going to the playoffs all the time, where the basketball team was finishing up that 6-year run of NCAA tournaments. And you look at the changes in the facilities that's happened under Mario, and he's got to go down as one of the most successful athletic directors in SIU history, based on what's happened so far.
And getting the job done. Speaking of the job done, we'll switch off SIU. I know you're big in the outdoors, and this is kind of that time we were talking. We start July 4th usually means the downhill run towards high school athletics. What does Les Winkeler do over the next 4 or 5 weeks before the onslaught of sports comes, and you've got to figure out what to do with staff and try to please everybody that picks up a newspaper in Southern Illinois?
We scramble. I mean, there's no question about it. This is the time of year when you're in the business. You understand when people call up and come up to you like, "Hey, I've got a great idea for a story." 99% of the time, you roll your eyes and go, "Oh my God, what am I going to hear now?" But this is the time of year where you actually welcome them when people come up to you, because if you get that 1 out of 100 that's worthwhile, you're going to go for it, because it's difficult right now to. Our mission, our newspaper's mission, is to provide local stories, and right now there just isn't a whole lot happening. Even American Legion baseball is winding down, so we look for for area kids who played in college last year. This is a time here where we can call them and update people on how they did at the college level, and maybe some kids, some guys who are playing in the minor leagues or whatever. It's the time of year where you look for that story that you don't have time or space to run during the school year.
And that's something that you guys do very well. You'll have your football tab. It'll come out right before football season starts. That's a staple in my bag as football season goes on. And outdoor-wise, what's Les Winkler doing right now outdoor-wise? Because we know you like that.
Actually, over the years, as you become a sports editor, you find out that you spend a whole lot more time shuffling papers than you do anything else. It's just a rare treat for me to get outside. I actually got to fish for a couple hours the other day. Unfortunately, Mother Nature intervened, and I think the only place it rained in all of southern Illinois that day was Crab Orchard Lake, but we caught it pretty good. But, it was just good to be out there for a couple hours. I normally will find an hour or two a week where I can just go out in the woods and sit and just listen to the birds and look for deer and bobcats and things like that. So it's just let's see. What did I think Patrick McManus once said? The two best times to go fishing is when training and when it ain't.
Yeah, why not, right?
That sounds more like Jeff Lonan logic, actually.
Jeff Lonan and logic in the same sentence?
Good point. Touche.
I fished enough with Jeff. I can say stuff like that.
Oh, yeah. Les, we appreciate your time. Of course, we have one more question to ask you, our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. And, we recognize the importance of American independence and Independence Day, of course, but Joey Chestnut's just a machine every Independence Day. This year, a record 69 hot dogs, which leads us to wonder, if you were a competitive eater, what food would you try to break the record for? Like, what would be your competitive food?
Oh, boy, that's a good question. How about blackberry cobbler?
Nice. Blackberry cobbler, an underrated staple of Americana.
There we go. I mean, that's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner right there.
even fourth meal.
I figured it would be like Wally's Burgers or something.
Oh, boy, I didn't think. Well, I'm getting older. I can't handle the grease.
Yeah. Aren't we all? Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, man. Les, thank you for taking the time. I know it's always busy for you, and we appreciate you for joining us today, and can't wait to maybe get you on the not-too-distant future, maybe focus a little bit more on the outdoor sector. But we appreciate your time today, and I wish you the best of luck as always.
Hey, I'd love to talk about fishing sometime.
There
Have a
we go.
good day, guys.
You too. That's Les Winkler. He is the sports editor at the Southern, better known as the Southern Illinoisan to many, but probably one of the most fascinating conversations I've ever witnessed in my life involved Les Winkler and Jeff Lonan prior to a Marion Mount Vernon basketball game sometime a few years back, just talking about fishing. Incredible stuff. I mean, it just absolutely underrated conversation.
What a catch that was for you to be involved with.
Yes, hook, line, and sinker, you bet.
Scaled back conversation.
Oh, man. Hey, Jared Shaner's still to come on the Saturday Sports Show. Can't forget about Rams football camp, because I almost just did, because I got distracted. But anyhow, Rams football camp will be coming up this coming week. We'll talk with Coach Shaner about that, talk about some off-season things as well. Here on the Saturday Sports Show, it's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
That's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Everyone has at least one automobile. We use them for shopping, work, everything we do. But they can be a threat. Some accidents can't be prevented. Your professional Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crownview and Mount Vernon, can help protect you from a large financial loss when an accident happens. Call Page Insurance today at 242-7000 about low-cost auto insurance from Pekin Insurance. Ask them about the many money-saving discounts that are available. Depend on your hometown professionals.
Pekin Insurance.
From Paducah to Peoria, Evansville to St. Louis. This is AM 940 WMIX Mount Vernon, the free service from Withers Broadcasting.
When you hear the warm, inviting sound of a crackling fire, what comes to mind? A rustic campground? A cozy cabin? How about the new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center? Our new family lounges feature a lot of comforts you might not expect. Things like this. No, that's not a babbling brook or serene stream out in the countryside. It's a 2-story waterfall located right here at Good Samaritan. And that's not the only way we're raising the bar for patient comfort. We've added lush healing gardens, as well as wall after wall of beautiful artwork, all designed to create the perfect healing atmosphere. And if all this sounds like music to your ears, we encourage you to check us out. Chances are, we're not too far from where you are right now.
The new Good Samaritan Regional Health Center. Raising a hospital, raising the bar.
This is Chase Landers with Landers Collision Centers. It's been said that in order to grow, you have to change. Very rarely anymore do insurance companies ask the phrase to go out and get 3 estimates. The new phrase insurance companies are asking is, would you like to take your vehicle to one of our direct repair facilities? This is a way for your insurance company and collision repair center to help relieve the stress you may have from your unfortunate incident. And, as Landers Collision Centers has adapted to this forever-changing industry, we are extremely happy to announce that we are a direct repair facility for over 10 different insurance companies. It's likely that one of them is yours. From dealing with your insurance company, setting you up with a rental vehicle, lifetime warranty on repairs, and of course, Landers free lifetime detailing for qualified customers, Landers Collision Centers literally takes the stress from your incident and turns it back into a shiny new ride for you to enjoy again. Landers is here for you whenever you need us. Big or small, Landers fixes them all. 1-888-LANDERS. That's 1-888-LANDERS.
Southern Illinois now has a better home for sports. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Jam-packed with local scores, video highlights, and archives of every local sports broadcast on WMIX. Did your team win? Missed that game-winning shot last night? Didn't catch your favorite coach on the Saturday Sports Show? WMIXSports.com is right at your fingertips. On your computer, your smartphone, your tablet, or your video game console. It's the all-new WMIXSports.com. Another free service from Withers Broadcasting.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXSports.com. It's powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Exactly, it is. And, of course, we have Jared Shaner on the program now, head coach of Mount Vernon Rams football. Talk about their youth camp coming up this coming week. Coach Shaner, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
You know, doing pretty good. It's hard to believe we're still, I think, roughly about, 7, 8 weeks away from the start of high school football, or from the first game of high school football season. But before we can get to that point, you have a very important camp coming up this week, of course, that for I believe every age group K through 8. Is that right?
That's correct, yeah. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday would be the 9th, 10th, and 11th. We have our youth football camp, and we've had a great time in the past, and hopefully we'll get a bunch of kids out this week and have a little fun, play a little football, and like I said, have a good time.
Youth football camp goes hand in hand with JCSA football, with Mount Vernon Rams football. In this where it actually begins to get that taste in kids' mouths and minds about playing the game of football at this age?
Well, I hope so. That's the goal. One of the things I try to stress to kids and more importantly to the parents of young kids is that this is a great way for their kid to come out for a couple days. And obviously, it's no helmets or shoulder pads or anything like that. But they're doing football drills and they're throwing footballs and catching and blocking and we play a little punt, pass, and kick competition every day. So as you said, hopefully, get some kids out there in the summer and they can determine whether they've had a good time and. I don't think we have too many of them that leave and didn't enjoy themselves. Usually they have some buddies out there, and myself and my coaching staff, and then high school players that work the camp, and we try to make it as fun as possible for the kids.
This Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, July 9th through 11th. There'll be a K through 4 session from 10 to 12. That's the session where people get worked at, I'm telling you right now. 5 through 8, grades 5 through 8 will be 1 to 3. Kindergarten through 4th grade from 10 to noon. That's got to be, number one, you got to have a lot of energy. Number two, you can see things from a really different perspective at that age level, can't you?
Well, I'll tell you, you hit it right on the head with that first statement. By Friday morning, Friday afternoon, I'll be worn out from the week. But it's definitely a good worn out. Those little guys are stoked. You get them out there running around, and some of them have held a football before, and some haven't. And you get. I should probably make a notebook this week because I get some of the funniest things of the year said to me during this week during that kindergarten through 4 camp.
And that, of course, you mentioned some of the high school kids. I know that come out and help. Do those guys have more fun than the actual kids are at camp sometimes, your players, when they get to come out and work with the kids?
They do, and it's really neat just to watch, our high school kids, our older kids interact with the little kids at camp, and they get a different perspective from, as opposed to being coached to coaching and trying to get a kid who, again, maybe a first or second grader who has 25 questions for them in line, and the high school kids are trying to teach them something about football, and it's fun to watch those interactions happen. And my kids, I have to turn some of my high school kids away. We had a sign up starting at the beginning of the summer, and it filled up immediately because they love to help with this camp.
When those kids, and I work with that age group, grades 3, 4, and 5, do you sit back, with your coaches and look at your players when all those kids are asking question after question like a semi-automatic machine gun just firing questions left and right? Do you just sit back and laugh at your players going, yeah, see what we feel like?
Absolutely. At every water break or at the end of each day, our high school kids will come up and there's always comments about, now I know what it feels like, or, man, these kids are really hard to coach. And but like I said, it's just it's really fun to watch those interactions, and we have a great group of kids at the high school that play, and what most of them really enjoy being with these young kids.
Now let's get to the big part. Camp's next week, and go to mtvrams.com to check out when that is and all the information if you want to sign up and everything. High school football summer for the Mount Vernon Rams. How has it been going?
It's been great. I've had a chance to talk to you guys, I think, 1 or 2 other times, and we're right now the halfway point, basically. We're in this first week of July, so we've got about 4.5 weeks down, and we have about 4.5 left until the season starts, and it has been tremendous. We've had great numbers. And one of our kind of themes this year, or throughout the summer anyway, has been attitude and effort. No matter what you do in life, and it really applies to athletics, and you can always control your attitude and effort. And our kids have really bought into that, and we've just had a tremendous start to the summer, and I'm really excited about getting into this next week and continuing.
One of the things that has changed, it's probably since you've been coaching, obviously, is social media. And the fact that Twitter has become such a rage with a lot of people, it's a quick-hitting kind of thing. As a coach and a coaching staff, how do you use Twitter and other social media aspects to benefit you and your program and your kids?
It is. It's really been amazing, how much that's changed just within the last couple of years. And what I've tried to do is, we have a Twitter account at MTV Rams Football. We also have a Facebook page, Mount Vernon Rams Football. And I try to use those two things along with our website, just to convey important information or give parents or kids reminders of things. And not everybody's on those, but what tends to happen is, if you can reach some kids that way, then they tend to get information out to families and things that maybe aren't on those. But it is truly amazing, social media and all the, really the benefit that it can be for your football program. And I follow, quite a few people and a lot of other coaches, whether it be from this area or statewide or even nationwide. And I think it's definitely things that coaches are taking advantage of. And, one great thing about coaching is it tends to keep you young because you have to follow things like this. If you don't, you're kind of missing out on a good learning opportunity or teaching opportunity and a way to interact and connect with your kids.
Summer's going on. You're keeping track of your players and everything. I read something funny on Twitter this week from you. I'm going to mention these 2 words, and I'm going to say, I want you to tell me what your first reaction is. Jet sweep.
Yeah, no sleep. That's what my first reaction would be. I kind of posted, I try to make it informational, but I also have a little bit of fun with my Twitter account. And, this is part of the life of probably any professional, I guess. But in my case, it's coaching that kind of consumes my thoughts, and a lot of times it consumes my thoughts when I'm laying there and I should be sleeping. And Hugo and I have had these conversations before. I'd hate to think of how many nights I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, haven't been to bed yet, or maybe slept for a couple hours and then can't go back to sleep. And like I said, most of the time my thoughts turn to football-related things, and I start making notes and end up getting on the computer, or I spend a lot of sleepless nights. I live about 2 miles from the high school, so I'll just say, well, I might as well get in the truck and go get some work done for a few hours. So I might work from 2 or 3 in the morning till 5 or 6 in the morning, and then come back home when everybody else was ready to get out of bed.
And nothing wrong with that. One of the worries that was taken off of your mind, I'm sure you and athletic director Doug Creel, was this past couple of weeks is Colquitt High School announced that they would field full teams as far as freshman, sophomore, varsity is concerned. That had to be a lot of relief, knowing that they were going to have a game or have a team, and you were going to have a game week 7 instead of having to worry about maybe a forfeit or having to look for another opponent.
Absolutely, that was very good news. From our standpoint, great news, but even more importantly, I think from their school and their community and their kids, that's something that I would sure hate to see any school lose their athletic programs. And you guys know, we've talked about it before, just how important athletics can be to kids, and not just wins and losses and things like that, but just teaching kids lessons that I have all the time. Parents tell me, there's things that coaches can tell kids or say to kids that when they come from a mom or a dad, it can kind of go in one ear and out the other. And a coach can say those same things, whether it be on the football field or basketball court or baseball diamond or whatever it is, and sometimes it sticks a little bit better. So just very, very happy that we don't have to look for another game, and that those kids are going to have more opportunities in front of them.
Without giving too much information, schedule the same as last year. You do have to go to Muscogee in week 2 again, a flop of the schedule. As far as 2013 goes, it's set, but without giving too much away, are we looking at the same schedule in 14, or is it too early to start talking about that schedule, if any changes at all?
No, we will have some changes next year, and there's, every couple of years you kind of have, typically have some changes, and one of the reasons is Rochester plays in the Central State 8 Conference, which actually has 9 schools. So every couple of years, their non-conference game rotates.
Right.
So basically, we will not have them week 1 anymore. And then that kind of, if you can't find a week 1, then you're kind of trying to plug teams in different places. So while we don't have anything necessarily in stone yet, we won't have Rochester. We are talking to Taylorville High School, who's also in that conference, which would be a good fit for us football-wise. So they're a possibility, and then we're still talking to Triad and Muscogee, trying to keep them around and maybe shuffle some things. But will be definitely a few changes, not this coming season, but the following.
I gotcha.
Nice.
I gotcha.
Christian County. I like that possibility.
Yeah, there he goes.
That's right. Yep.
Here he goes. Hugo's excited because that's another stop on his tours of things and places to go and do. That's you've already got him perked up at 9:19 this morning already.
Well, and I'll tell you, I'll have to, Chris. We'll have to get together. We go to Taylorville, or they come here, or whatever. There's a great little restaurant that's been on diners, drive-ins, and dashes, or whatever. And it's the best burger you've ever had right there in Taylorville.
Nice.
We'll find it. If there's something, we'll find it, because we're yeah, you know how we are, because we'll eat at places we don't have in town. That's how we look at it.
Absolutely.
Right.
Social media question, speaking of which, surprise, surprise, is about food. Of course, with the American Independence this week, and obviously we do remember the reason for that and everything, but it wouldn't be us if we didn't go slightly off topic. Joey Chestnut, of course, 69 hot dogs this year, which leads us to the question, if you were a competitive eater, what would your food be? What record would you try to break?
Goodness. I would have to say it would be something with, if it had to be meat, it would probably be chicken. I'm a big chicken fan. And if it was just food in general, I'd probably have to go with something along the lines of chocolate.
Really, like chocolate-covered grasshoppers or bacon or something like that?
Oh, chocolate-covered bacon. Now you're talking.
Okay.
Hold on.
Go ahead. You go first.
You said chicken. Got to be more. Are we talking grilled chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken?
It would be like maybe like
so boneless, skinless.
We're talking competitive eating, maybe like chicken strips or chicken tenders or something like that. See how many you could get down in 5 minutes.
Well, we can tell you the record for chicken nuggets is 80 in 5 minutes.
I could not be eating 69 hot dogs in however long he did. But doesn't it seem like 80 chicken nuggets in 5 minutes? That's doable.
It seems that way, but it's like if it was that easy, it's like the record would be more. But surely I would get bored with it, but because obviously you couldn't do dipping sauces because that would just weigh you down.
Right.
So you're talking plain chicken nuggets, no condiments more than likely, no honey mustard, no barbecue sauce, no ketchup, whatever the kids are using these days. I mean, plain chicken. You know how boring that would get after a while? I guess you could dip it in water to kind of moisten them up a little bit, but that'd be tough.
It would be interesting to see how they're prepared, too. Yeah, like you said, if they were, you'd struggle if they were dry, and you'd want something.
I thought, like we talked before air, we didn't know if you'd pick Casey's Pizza or not.
I figured Casey's breakfast
pizza.
Well, hey, I would just about guarantee I've had just as many slices as anybody else in town this morning.
Oh, man. I like the prospects for 14, and hopefully we'll have some celebrating to do after 13, of course. I know, obviously, it's not easy, but youth camp is this week, and, of course, interested parties K through 8 can register or get the application, not applications. You don't have to apply to go, but get the forms online at mtvrams.com, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Awesome sauce. Shayna, of course, we'll have to talk to you sometime again real soon, and maybe that thing we talked about, hopefully can do that at some point real soon as well.
Absolutely.
Sounds good.
Thanks for having me on this morning, guys.
Always a pleasure, my man. That's Jared Shaner, head coach of Mount Vernon Rams football. Good dude. # win the day. You can follow him on the Twitterverse at MTV. What is it?
Did you forget? First time ever.
I think it's at MTV Rams football.
It is at MTV Rams football.
There we go.
Yeah, you got it.
Well, because you have the MVTHS account, you have at MVTHS Athletics, and then you have some that don't use the MTV that use just MV, and so sometimes it gets confusing up here. I actually haven't been on Twitter very much lately.
Right.
Whoops. Oh, man. Beautiful Saturday morning, though, as I look out on the window on Mount Vernon here from...
Can I play golf?
The lovely... Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
Nothing that would stop you anyway, even if there was precip.
Lightning. That's about it.
That's a good reason not to play. Let's see. We need to take a break here on the Saturday Sports Show. When we come back, of course, we'll give you our answers to the WMIX Sports social media question of the week. Joey Chestnut, 69 hot dogs, 10 minutes, give or take. Nathan's hot dogs, too. Yum. Anyhow, what would your if you were a competitive eater, what would your food be? Tell us on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. We are also on the Twitterverse at WMIX Sports. Don't forget Rams football coming up. On August the 30th, the Rams will travel to the three-time defending 4A state champion Rochester Rockets. You'll hear that game on AM 940. You'll also find it with video online at WMIXsports.com. We'll take that break. It's brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
Register for fall courses right now at Rend Lake College. Over 100 degree and certificate programs means Rend Lake College can put you on the fast track to a new career or continued education. RLC is more affordable than four-year universities and private schools, saving you thousands on your college education. Registration by appointment continues through July 26 with trained academic counselors who will keep you on the right track. Call Rend Lake College at 437-5321, 437-5321, or log on to rlc.edu.
The golden rule: treat others how you would want to be treated. Do you feel that's the kind of service you're getting from your pharmacy? It can be hard to find good customer care nowadays, but at the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Mount Vernon, that kind of service is our #1 priority. You have options when it comes to your prescription and medical equipment needs. Don't put up with poor service and long waits anymore. It's easy to switch. Call me today and let me show you why the Medicine Shop should be your new pharmacy.
As you just heard, pharmacist and pharmacy owner Eric Black is committed to taking care of each and every customer that walks through his pharmacy doors. Stop by anytime and talk to Eric and his pharmacy staff. You'll soon find out why the Medicine Shop is your hometown pharmacy. Support the local community and give them a try. You'll be glad you did. Don't forget to take advantage of their free delivery, custom compounding service, medication planners, and so much more. The Medicine Shop Pharmacy, 2339 Broadway in Mount Vernon.
Hi, this is Joe David Cummins, President of Community First Bank, asking why you bank with Community First Bank. Is it knowing your deposits are also vital to home loans in Jefferson County and our local economy? Is it having your choice of convenient locations and ATMs? Is it seeing a staff of friendly faces you recognize as your neighbors? These are all reasons enough to count, though you only need one, and we are honored you chose us. Community First Bank, welcome back to personal banking. Member FDIC.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next rad weather. Humid today with clouds and some sun, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high of 83. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 62. Then tomorrow, partly sunny and humid, high 86. Monday will be partly sunny, hot and humid with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly in the afternoon. High getting up to 92. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And we're looking back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. It's all powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Yes, it is. And, of course, glad to have them aboard. Have been for years. We're certainly thankful for that. Glad to be back with you on a beautiful Saturday morning here in the King City, 27 minutes past the 9 o'clock hour. Chris Hugo with Mike Richardson and Danny Zerwinski in the studios of AM 940. And, of course, what a great social media question this week. Of course, Joey Chestnut, Independence Day has become a nice tradition as we celebrate our independence, of course, from the motherland back in... Wow. That was out of nowhere. Of course, July 4th of 76.
You choked on your wig or what?
Yeah, I got choked on his wig.
On your wig or what, man?
Of course, I saw something before we get to the social media question of the week, because I saw it on social media, of folks who did not know the year of the Declaration of Independence, nor the purpose of the holiday, and it kind of upset me a little bit. But here nor there.
Allegedly.
Yes. Yeah, this is half that stage anyway. It's good entertainment, but it still frustrates me to no end because legitimately that does occur. But anyhow, I really don't know what my answer would be for the social media question of which food would I competitively eat, because most people are probably thinking anything and everything.
I got mine. It's easy.
Pop-Tarts?
Pasta.
We've talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
This is a road trip question somewhere. I forget. We were heading to a basketball game. I remember it now.
Yeah, has to be pasta. Hot, cold, whatever. Yeah.
Spaghetti?
Spaghetti, tortellini, anything like that. Anything pasta I could throw
Would you want the stuffed pastas, though?
No, it'd have to be spaghetti or something.
Maybe a rotini?
Rotini, something along that line. Just
Linguine?
so you can throw it in. Yeah.
Fettuccine?
Any of those eenies are great. I'm a pasta guy.
Yes, you
Pasta
are.
and chicken. If there's any of that, I'm there.
Especially
pasta.
Combined.
Yes. That's my favorite. What can I say?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
I have no clue.
All right, Mike.
Well, obviously we've had a long time to think about it. I think as I try to eat healthy, chicken would be, a way to possibly do that. But if I'm going to sin and go through this whole rigmarole, it's going to be chocolate. It's going to be something. And I don't know whether that would be in a form of a particular candy bar or just go straight with like the Hershey's, chocolate candy bar or whatever, maybe, or a Mounds or Butterfinger or something like that.
Mounds.
Chocolate's going to have to be involved.
Okay.
No doubt about it.
Your record that you're shooting for, set by Eric Booker.
Eric Booker, I know him.
2 pounds of chocolate candy bars in the time of 6 minutes.
2 pounds.
2 pounds in 6 minutes.
So what? A Hershey's, the regular, is about, 6 ounces or 8 ounces, maybe?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd go for like the Hershey's Air Delight if you could, just because it's a little bit lighter.
A little lighter.
A little fluffier.
Some
air bubbles up in there.
But you may not have a choice.
That's true. They may decide for you.
Right.
Guinness may take care of that.
Guinness. Oh, you mean the world record? Or
Yeah,
this
not
is in the
not the adult beverage.
Oh, okay.
Same,
I thought you had some kind of gig where you could take it down a little easier.
It's technically one and the same anyway.
Yes. Okay, it's your turn.
So he says chocolate. You
chocolate.
Say
yeah, I think the chicken. I can't eat it. I'm just totally amazed at any of these things. I think I would put my youngest daughter up though in crab legs.
Give me any teenage girl for any of these. In that case,
crab legs.
Yeah,
I think I'd definitely go for her in her total of 16 pounds or 14 pounds.
Okay, crab cakes. There were 46 in 10 minutes. Those are the Baltimore crab cakes. I do not see one for crab legs, so that could be a possibility.
Yeah.
Only problem with crab legs is if you break it wrong and it shreds them, I mean, you wouldn't be able to. Crab legs, for me, are the off-topic most annoying food to eat in the world. All that work for that.
It's a lot. You can't be lazy and eat seafood.
Gosh.
Of course, Tyler Barker says fried Twinkies. Solid option.
It's solid.
And I don't know. A good thing Lana wasn't a guest today, because she'd be like, Hugo, you'd eat everything.
Yeah.
And he's probably right.
Yeah.
I said pizza earlier until I found out what the record was.
Yeah.
And it's like, even I couldn't eat that much pizza in one sitting. Steak would be too much. Too much beef. Don't want to go red meat on something like that. I like your pasta idea. I would have said corn dogs, but the corn batter gets too heavy after a while.
Some of our non-Facebook people want them having beautiful weather to wash vehicles. Pancakes.
Nice.
From the listener, Christopher, pancakes.
That guy knows what he's
from
talking
our
about.
friends in Washington County. He says bananas, but don't stand between him and the facilities. Bananas. We know who that is. What ape sent us that one from Washington County?
Are they bananas, or is this our Scotch friend?
Bananas. Yeah, bananas.
Our Clinton County friend, now the transplant in Harrisburg, of course, Blackberry Cobbler was a good answer earlier, Les Winkler. Pizza, I guess.
Okay.
That's so heavy, though. You know how miserable I would be afterwards?
Do you know how miserable anybody would be? Joey
That's
Chestnut
true.
still has an 8 as of last night.
Ooh, you probably
according
not
to
for a few
people.
weeks.
Yeah. According to various sources.
Yeah, I guess pizza.
Yeah.
Why not? Or Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, but there's nothing to those.
That's why you'd have to eat so many.
Right.
Of course, my tongue would be so raw after. I mean, that's not worth it.
Right.
It would be punishment enough on your tongue.
Right.
Not only
the punishment would be that next day.
Yeah, the acidic nature of the candy on your tongue would not help either.
It's like me eating too many sweet tarts where I don't have cavities, but yet after you eat too many sweet tarts too many days in a row, everything's sensitive because your teeth are working. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because they're not happy with you.
Right.
Sweet. Oh, my gosh, it's about time. No, it's not. We're about
What's about time?
I was going to say, we're about halfway to the Sweet Tarts chicks and bunnies.
Some of us still
About
have
halfway.
some.
Do you really?
Oh, gosh.
I've been there in a while.
No, but I still have plenty.
Good to know. Of course, all of that out of the way, that's our WMIX Sports Social Media Question of the Week. If you are a competitive eater, such as the Joey Chestnuts or the now free Kobayashi, what would your food be? Which record would you go for, or what would your food be? You can find it on Facebook, facebook.com/WMIX Sports. Also, hit us up on the Twitterverse. We are at WMIX Sports, and, of course, there's some interesting details there. We need to take another break here on the Saturday Sports Show. Plenty of sports talk, we promise, still to come here. We're here till 10 o'clock on the studios of AM 940, online at WMIXsports.com, and brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
More Americans are on the move today than ever before. One of the most popular modes of transportation is the motorcycle. Motorcycles take us to our jobs, school, to the beach, and all around the country. If you're a bike rider, your Pekin Insurance Agency, Page Insurance on Crown View in Mount Vernon, wants to make sure you have the best insurance protection while you're riding. Ask about the money-saving auto cycle discount and the experienced driver discount, too. Call Page Insurance at 242-7000 today about motorcycle insurance from Pekin Insurance.
I'm Kevin Snyder with a look at your next next rad weather. Humid today with clouds and some sun, couple of showers and a thunderstorm, high of 83. Mostly cloudy tonight, low 62. Then tomorrow, partly sunny and humid, high 86. Monday will be partly sunny, hot and humid with a shower or thunderstorm around, mainly in the afternoon. High getting up to 92. Next rad weather from WMIX, Mount Vernon, Illinois.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX, WMIXSports.com. Glad to have you with us. Chris Hugo and Danny Zawinski in studio for you for the Saturday Sports Show, brought to you by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
Yeah, it's what healthcare should be.
Yes, it is. And, of course, what a beautiful, beautiful Saturday morning. Of course, it's hard to believe, but we're coming down the hill, of course, from July 4th, which means that high school sports will be back before you know it. Seems like they just ended, which, of course, they did. But we're about at that halfway point. Of course, still, though, probably about 8 weeks away from the start of high school football games. They will actually get started, camps, whatnot, here again before long. And, of course, you have volleyball, cross country, girls tennis. Among, of course, your various color guards and or dance teams will also get started. Marching bands will be going all summer long, things like that. So it's almost upon us, hard to believe, but we'll be getting into August before you know it. But that said, some side assignments already announced by the IHSA, of course, in golf.
Yeah, you look at the division of teams, local teams. The Mount Carmel will host a 2A regional boys. Effingham will host a 2A regional boys. That's where Mount Vernon will go, and then Waterloo will host one of some of our Metro East friends. And those regionals will all feed into the Carbondale sectional, held at Hickory Ridge on Monday, October 8th. The golf regionals are going to be held Tuesday, October 2nd. You look at 1A boys, Nashville's hosting a regional at Stone Wolf. A lot of our area teams will go there. And then you look at Robinson, that's where Woodlawn and others will go on October 2nd at 1A boys. And then Anna Jonesboro will host one as well. All those regionals will feed into the Carterville sectional at Crab Orchard, and that course is in phenomenal shape. Let's put it that way. That's the ones of local interest for us. As far as the girls' side is concerned, your 1A assignments, sliding down here. This is where it gets interesting. Not a lot of local regionals. Centralia will host a girls golf regional 1A on October 3rd. Salem on October 3rd as well. Effingham on October 3rd as well, as I look down and try to find some things. Anna Jonesboro will also host a regional. So Anna, Effingham, Salem, and Centralia all hosting golf regionals, 1A girls that feed into T-Town. And as I look here, that's interesting. Not finding certain people. Or did they stick the Lady Rams? I guess they didn't put them in there. Let's go 2A. Interesting. Lady Rams in 2A, as I start searching feverishly, trying not to waste time. We'll be at the O'Fallon Regional at Tamarack Golf Course in Shiloh on October 3rd. They're in 2A. So that will feed in that particular regional at O'Fallon. Will feed into the normal U-High sectional at the Wyburn Golf Club on October 8th. So golf assignments are out. Acclimation rules are out for football. It's getting closer and closer. Football schedules were released last month late. Everybody's got theirs. Everything's set as far as those sports are concerned.
Yeah.
Let me check something else here.
Of course, what I like are the prospects of 2014 after that was announced today. And you hope that, of course, for Rams football, we'll tell you their schedule in just a moment. But you hope that some of those changes can be made that Coach Shaner talked about earlier in the program. Rams football camp, of course, to remind you, will be going on K through 8. It's broken up into, I believe, 2 or 3 different age groups. You can find more information on mtvrams.com, the Mount Vernon Rams Gridiron Club. But hard to believe, August 30th will be here before we know it, week 1 of the football season. Of course, the Rams on the road quite a bit to start off the season. Of course, they will travel to Rochester on the 30th. Then in week 2, they will travel to Mascoutah. We'll host Triad in week 3 before heading to the new Lindenwood Stadium in week 4 to take on the Altoff Crusaders. Weeks 5 and 6 will bring Marion and Carbondale to town. Week 7 will be on the road at Cahokia. Week 8, of course, will be on the road at Centralia. And then in week 9, the Mount Carmel Golden Aces make their return to the King City and that's how you'll close out your regular season.
Football scheduling will be difficult the rest of time unless they change the system. I'm just saying, I don't want to be.
We're out of the
Nancy
proactive
negative.
state right now and into the reactive state with terms of conferences getting stuff done. Too many have already made their move, and so for any hope of that, conferences may kind of have to get on the ball, because not only that, you're dealing with financial issues now, which are forcing some schools to make some tough decisions and some tough cuts. So there's some non-football conference schools that are going to have issues as well.
You're looking at finances because schools aren't going to get to travel for hours. Some schools are already playing each other twice, a regular season, a conference and non-conference. Heron and Massac got lucky and found Waterloo and Freeburg this year to replace some schools. Marion's got Mattoon to replace a school. The river to river still at odds about how crossover is going to go, whether or not it'll work. Some of the smaller schools don't want to play the bigger schools. Sparta co-ops with Steelville now.
I saw that.
Don't know how much that will help because Steelville's more of a baseball basketball town, and should see how that goes. To me, that leads to another move. It's just my opinion, not actually what's going on, I don't think yet, but leads to another possible move down the road. But there's so many things going on in football right now. The system is so wrong. I mean, coaches are playing to the system, trying to find games they can win, get 5 and get in, or 6. But until the system changes, there's going to be problems, and it doesn't matter if you're a 2A, 3A school who have teams that are struggling to get kids out there and or co-ops that are struggling to get enough kids out there, or if you're a school the size of Mount Vernon who next year has to look for at least one team, maybe 2, maybe 4, because depending on schedule changes in CS8 and otherwise schools want to play other people because Mount Vernon's size, and then, of course, the football system set up. If you do win a lot of people don't want to play you because they want to get their 5-6 wins as well.
And that's the problem. And admittedly, something else that comes into focus are your facilities, travel time. All these are big factors. And for Mount Vernon for many years, it's been tough to get games. And, I mean, this isn't just something that's happened over the past couple of seasons. And happened, in the Brad Pancoast era as well, where getting those games and getting local opponents not the easiest. And if you're a Marion or a Carbondale or a Mount Vernon, where you're kind of scattered about Southern Illinois amongst a bunch of 3A and 4A teams, even some 2As now, it's just getting tougher to find local competition. And, even so, some might settle for competition that might be a little bit counterproductive, but you really can't do that. I mean, it might get you to the playoffs, but if you want to make the run, it's not something you can settle for.
I saw a thread on a local website, obviously one that we peruse a lot, and one of the threads was, who would you schedule for your football schedule, big-time schools or tradition-rich or whatever the case may be, and half tempted if somebody will get on there and put, here's who I would schedule, 9 teams that'll give me 9 wins so I can get in the playoffs. Because that's what it is right now. You're not scheduling to try to be competitive or schedule up or whatever. The system's made where you want to schedule, and I think with finances and schools and cutbacks, that football's going to. I think I still say, and I've said this for several years, football's the next golden goose. The IHSA is going to mess with. It's not a matter of if, but when.
Right, and something's going to have to be done, especially whether it's state intervention. Ugh. But with the finances the way they are and the funding being cut, I mean, first of all, if your school has its schedule released and is actually going to be able to complete that schedule, be thankful that your school has not had to make any cuts to its athletics. Or if it has, that maybe that particular sport went untouched, because there's so many schools right now having to make the tough choices on which sports to keep, whether to cut lower levels, whether to cut some junior high. And it's a tough prospect to face right now. It's scary when you really think about it.
And we discussed it last week with we discussed it last week with school finances and cuts in our area.
Sure, Sandoval had to make some very tough cuts.
That you look at, buses being cut, transportation being cut, schedules being cut, programs cut, schedules cut down. And this is for year one. If you think that that's all you're going to see from schools, you've got another thing coming. Another year of bills, budgets, and prices going up. Another year of funding going down from the state. You're going to see more and more things, and you don't save money by cutting something that's $4,000 or a coaching position. You got to cut several, and you got to cut several positions in order to legitimately save money at schools. It's a sad situation in the state of Illinois.
Well, it is, and it's scary. I mean, and you look at the different problems the different districts have. Dr. Larkin in Woodlawn may not have the same issues as Dr. Smith in Mount Vernon. Chuck Lane in Centralia may not have the same issues as Terry Milton in Johnston City. So, I mean, you kind of run into that, and you kind of look at how the general landscape of state funding with state-funded institutions is going right now, and a lot of difficult decisions made. And, of course, North Clay up there in Louisville had to make some tough decisions as well. I think they're going to have some things that are funded privately now, just in order to keep some things going, because transportation obviously is a main cog as far as the cost of funding athletic programs. Some schools are trimming down the travel schedule. There were some schools that even kind of saw this coming and kind of had some foresight, Charleston being one of them, that really cut down on their travel. I mean, took them out of the Salem tournament, allegedly the reason because of the travel.
There's a lot of things. Football is probably the most expensive sport to cover. And you look at, and I'll say this, non-revenue sports or non-revenue sporting events where you have uniforms, you have gym being open, you have coaches, those kinds of sports are going to go first. And you're going to see a lot of schools, if we have seen too, go 2 for girls, 2 for boys, or 3 for girls, 3 for boys, and a lot of your fringe sports are going to get cut because they just don't have the money or the money to provide for staff and otherwise.
Well, and then the other complication, and it's a shame that it's necessary, but it is, your other complication is Title IX and adhering to that. And, Yeah, and I mean, and in all fairness, if you were to go to read Title IX word by word, there's violations everywhere. But you do have to adhere to that, and so that does make it tougher, whereas, say you're a district that has maybe a couple boys sports that are really over the top and are very, very successful, but don't you have to keep it equal by season? Not necessarily just offer the same amount for each. Don't you have to have a complementary each season?
I think it's by season, by sport, too. So if you have boys in the fall, you have to have girls in the fall.
Right.
So a lot of schools, smaller schools, will have a baseball and a volleyball. Wouldn't long ago, baseball, volleyball, basketball, baseball, softball is their core sports. Now, they do co-op boys football in the fall and stuff like that, but they have 2, 2, and 2. The co-op gets you around it because you're working to go to other schools.
Right. As long as you're not the host, you're okay, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If you're the host, then you got to come up with something else. And that, again, finances and everything else working against each other. I mean, next year at this time, it would not surprise me if we're talking about even more cuts of positions and staff and sports as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a scary time right now, and I certainly don't envy anybody. I don't envy school boards. I don't envy school administrators that have to make these tough decisions right now, and I give a lot of credit. And please give your local school board or superintendent a pat on the back if they've been able to get through this without cutting anything, whether it be arts, whether it be music, which would be arts, I guess, whether it be anything academic-wise or anything sports-wise, if they've been able to do it without any, or even jobs. If they've been able to get through it without doing any of that, or if they've been able to do it without having to do very many, they deserve a huge pat on the back for being able to handle finances.
Well,
and being fortunate.
Here's the,
it's not just skill.
Cuts,
there's some luck with this too.
Because we could beat this into the ground and cuts, and we will. We'll come back to it later and talk. And not change topics here, but the Dome, the Edward Jones Dome, and the St. Louis Rams, we mentioned earlier, are not getting together. Of course, St. Louis Rams football on AM 940. Not getting together.
As long as they're in St. Louis.
Do I?
I said as long as they're in St. Louis.
As long as they're in St. Louis. But the Dome and the St. Louis Rams are at odds. The Rams rejected the proposal of the Dome. And, you're looking at a situation here. They're only good this year and in 2014 before they have to start moving and look, or, whatever. I'm sure there'll be a last-ditch effort by many in St. Louis. But it seems to me when you move one of your biggest grossing home football games in the New England Patriots to London, and you're at odds with the Dome, and regional leaders have closed the door on a $700 million upgrade to the Dome. That ushers in a new stage of negotiation with the Rams, and it's going to be tough. I think it'll be a lot of grinding hours if this thing goes through, but it would not surprise me that after 2014 the Rams are jettisoned to somewhere else because of the Dome and whatnot and whatever else has happened.
Well, and that would be shameful, but I think it's a writing on the wall scenario as well.
I think as everything goes on, like I said, you've been arguing about having the Dome upgrade. It has to be kept up and upgraded into one of the top 10 or 5 places to host NFL teams in the NFL. You move what would be your biggest fan game to come in, the New England Patriots, to London. You also do some different things as well to kind of say that, but it just gives them the impression that the ownership of the Rams and that group is looking to possibly pick up stakes. It's been a nice run since '95 in St. Louis, but head west and get back in L.A. if they can get a stadium built out there of some sort. And obviously the NFL has cried for years to try to get a team back in an NFL TV media market in L.A. It would be a possibility if this way it keeps going. Right now, it doesn't look very good. Not saying it won't happen, but boy, right now it doesn't look very good for the Rams being St. Louis after 2014.
Well, and definitely because you don't have Missouri, Georgia running the helm anymore, and
right.
Her passing was a very sad one. But now you have Stan Kroenke, who's a money guy, clearly,
and he has to keep the stadium in the top 8.
Right.
By 2015. That's not happening here on July 5th, 2013 if no construction's going on.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, if things are going to happen the way you want, you grant waivers, things like that, and you renegotiate, but it doesn't appear that that's going to happen. We have one more break to take here on the Saturday Sports Show. More sports talk to come here. Follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well. Here on the Saturday Sports Show. Who knows what we're going to talk about when we come back, but we hope you'll stay tuned here on AM 940 and WMIXsports.com, powered by Crossroads Community Hospital. It's more than a hospital.
It's what healthcare should be.
Back after these.
When an emergency happens, time is everything, and you don't want to spend time in a waiting room. So choose Crossroads Community Hospital. With our 30 minutes or less ER service pledge, the entire team is committed to working diligently to have you initially seen by a physician within 30 minutes of your arrival. When minutes matter, choose the ER that doesn't waste time. Choose Crossroads Community Hospital. Visit crossroadscommunityhospital.com to learn more. If you are experiencing a medical emergency, call 911.
Register for fall courses right now at Red Lake College. Over 100 degree and certificate programs means Red Lake College can put you on the fast track to a new career or continued education. RLC is more affordable than four-year universities and private schools, saving you thousands on your college education. Registration by appointment continues through July 26 with trained academic counselors who will keep you on the right track. Call Red Lake College at 437-5321, 437-5321, or log on to rlc.edu.
You can count on us. Yes, you can.
Even with summer here, there are not enough hours in the day. Whether it's a family vacation, the kids' camp, or a busier work day, we're all busy all the time. Hi, Roy Schmidt, President at King City Chrysler Center. Since we have started the Chrysler Express Lane service, our service business has increased dramatically, and our customers love it. Chrysler's Express Lane fast oil changes and more is very convenient at any time during the day. No appointment necessary. Just drive up and our Express Lane advisors will get your vehicle right in. Convenience is the name of the game at King City Chrysler's Express Lane oil changes and more. Come by and see us at 1603 Broadway in Mount Vernon, Illinois, and keep your vehicle in top running condition at King City Chrysler Center, where you can count on us.
And we welcome you back to the Saturday Sports Show, WMIX and WMIXsports.com. So glad to have you with us. Chris Hugo and Danny Zerwinski to wrap it up. About 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the program for you today. We're so thankful you tuned in this morning. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We're on Facebook as well. Also have a YouTube channel, all easily accessible at WMIXsports.com. So we're talking about the St. Louis Rams and the possibility of them being around beyond 2015 in the city of St. Louis. My conspiracy theory has always been once Kahn, cannot remember his first name. Starts with an S.
Kroenke. No.
Not Stan Kroenke. Kahn, the guy that that wanted to buy the Rams. And then Kroenke interjected and used his clause. But my conspiracy theory has always been there's not a lot of support in Jacksonville. I think they realize how awful of an idea it was. Would it surprise anybody if the Jaguars then moved to St. Louis?
Well, the Rams have to leave first.
Right.
But if the Rams do leave,
one of the two will end up in L.A. There's no doubt in my mind.
Or Jacksonville's looking at London.
Yes.
To be that guinea pig, which I'm sorry, but I don't see, for several reasons, NFL being able to survive in London because travel, San Francisco to London, Seattle, London, have to turn around, come back the next week and play. I know they could fit bye weeks in, but It's a lot of finagling and shuffling for London teams to fly back to the States and play back and forth.
You'd have better luck in London, Ontario.
Yeah.
Than you would London, England.
Which they're trying to get Buffalo to Canada anyway. But
Yeah.
you know,
CFL the other night.
Yeah, something will happen.
Montreal, Winnipeg.
You know, something, again, the way the Rams brass are acting with the dome, they got two distinctly different ideas on how to alter the dome and renovate it. Some of them are very drastic. The Rams' idea is very drastic. I just don't see it happening at this point. They could stay there, but it's going to be tough.
It's definitely not going to be easy. And, you know, the Rams' idea, I actually like it, but
Right.
it's a money issue. Nobody has that kind of money right now.
Not in this area.
I mean, $700 million, I think, was the proposed cost.
Yep.
And it always goes up. It never stays what you're told. So, I don't know. Maybe they stay in. We hope they do. I love the Rams. Colts guy, but I love the Rams now. Again, I'm over that whole Kurt Warner thing.
Okay.
Jeff Fisher's all that took. It's nice to be able to know the head coach of the Rams, sitting to my right now.
Yep, there I am. I don't know. All the Rams did for a Cowboys fan like me is make them be on every week on TV. That was my freebie. You knew the Cowboys were going to be on about every other week because either at noon or at 3. Well, Rams came. That was the end of that. Of course, NFL tickets out now, but
right.
You know,
for the few years he did not have that option.
Oh yeah, every week Cowboys are on somewhere. They
remember
don't
that.
need to be on now anyway. But
The Cowboys were on so much they made your radio boy down there. They put him on the Fox, I believe, 4th team.
Yeah,
I think for a while. Did he, Brad
Sham?
Yeah, didn't he leave the Cowboy booth for a while? With the Fox
a little bit,
TV?
but he's
back
leave,
obviously. But
yeah. Speaking of leaving and changing, the Pittsburgh Pirates had the best record I think in the National League, if not baseball. 21 games over, 2 games ahead of the Cardinals.
It's 1992 all over again.
Cardinals got the Marlins. It'll be it's something they needed. The Marlins are playing some pretty good baseball right now, but all the Cardinal games on WMIX 94.1 FM. But Cardinals got some decisions to make over the next couple weeks that they're going to improve or stay the course. What they're going to do right now, I don't know.
They may have to buy at the deadline.
What's his face is down in Memphis. Done. He's not going to have any trade. But who is that? Mott? That's not Mott. Who am I thinking of that's in Memphis?
The reliever?
Yeah.
Boggs?
Mitchell? That's how much I follow him. Boggs is in Memphis. He's got no trade value whatsoever.
No, there's not a lot.
You don't have a lot to trade off.
All you have are your prospects, and do you really want to get rid of them? Guys that you're going to have cheaply under team control for years?
No.
Until they hit arbitration?
Right.
But the Cubs, of course, have sold off some pieces, rightfully so.
Hey, we're getting... Theo's got a plan, boys. It's growing. I love it. You just
got to give him time. You've given him this long.
Boston wasn't a powerhouse overnight, folks. There was stuff happening well before 2004.
Exactly.
So, you got to give time.
Of course, John Henry probably was the best and worst thing to happen to that franchise at the same time, though. But
Jerry Jones,
yeah. Good times.
Yep.
Of course, the weeks will get even busier. Our football previews will be back before you know it. Those will be in August. Of course, we now have another week to play with.
10th, 17th, and 24th.
There you go.
Exact.
Yep.
We'll get ready to go. Mount Vernon kicks off August 30th like everybody else does. So it's about time. Halfway point of the summer season is over, and it will come quickly now.
Of course, we'll talk some cross country. We'll also talk some high school volleyball. We'll talk some golf as well coming up in the latter summer months of the Saturday Sports Show. We hope you'll stay tuned to us each and every Saturday morning right here on AM 940, coming soon to 96.5 FM and online at WMIXsports.com. And, of course, the high school sports will be back going with contests before you know it. Stay tuned right here. You can also stay up to date outside of the game on Twitter at WMIX Sports. We are on Facebook as well. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Again, we'll be back next week right here. Same dial location, same web address after the 8 o'clock news next Saturday. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next week.